we'll go ahead and get started, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good deal. Well, first of all, congratulations on receiving the 2020 SNF Scholarship Award. We are so proud of you for your accomplishments. We look forward to seeing your growth. We look forward to seeing, just your everything that comes with you attending college, and blossoming into the young woman that you see for yourself and that you've always dreamt of. So, congratulations from me. Again, just to even introduce myself, I'm Bud Sasser, the founder of SasserNation Foundation. I am from Denton, Texas. I graduated from Ryan High School in 2010. So yes, I'm an old man now. But I'm so happy for you, Sasser Nation, and all of our counterparts and our partners and just support system are so thankful that not only that you just applied, but that you're doing so well in everything that you're going for. So we are extremely happy for you and can't wait to hear from you today.
Now I want to say thank you to you guys. You guys didn't have to grant me with the scholarship, so I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Of course. But we'll go ahead and jump right on in here into this. So if you could give us a brief moment and kind of discuss a little bit about who you are, what you got going on, and just give the people, the supporters, just an introduction of who you are.
Okay. My name is Ahlbany Bruner. I'll be attending the University of Texas at San Antonio, and I plan to become a high school math teacher simply because I love, being involved in the community, and math is my favorite subject. So I feel like those are two things that'll kind of blend in well together. Let's see. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
As far as
As far as education. Yeah. Okay. And which school did you attend?
Oh, I attended Braswell High School.
Okay, Braswell High School.
Yeah.
Braswell High is a fairly new high school to Denton ISD. How was that transitioning into a fairly new high school?
Well, for me, because I have been attending Braswell since 9th grade year, so it was already my first year in high school. So it didn't seem like different really because I was already new to high school. But I did hear a lot of the upperclassmen saying, oh no, this isn't right. So they would kind of point out things that should have been going on at went on in other established high schools that didn't happen at Braswell. So for me, it wasn't bad at all, but I feel like it was only unfortunate for the kids who had experienced other high schools. But to me, I enjoyed my experience.
All right. Okay. That's good to hear. You honestly don't hear too many people discuss the pros and cons of attending a new high school. And I think that that's a very honest and truthful approach that you just mentioned is, sometimes there's not the flow that you get, right, with a traditional high school or something that's been kind of standing there for a while. So as we kind of jump into this, what would you say kind of went into your plan as a freshman at Braswell High into, finishing as one of the top in your class? So what kind of went into that plan of setting up your schedule to, be a qualified and a highly qualified student once you graduated?
Thank you. Well, for me, I've always been very picky about my grades. Like even in middle school, I always wanted to have all A's. And it's not that my parents were hard on me because they pushed for us to have A's and B's, which is acceptable. But for me, I guess I kind of took it as a challenge or a contest. So if I didn't have all A's, then I wasn't meeting the mark. So that was unacceptable. Okay. And I think that trait just kind of carried me all the way through high school. But I never really put too much pressure on myself to where I was like, okay, I have to be number one, because it did get to a point to where I realized that I have some stiff competition, but I still I still tried my best, and I'm very satisfied with how I left.
Okay, that's a great answer when it comes to understanding how competitive it is and how competitive
Yeah.
students are to finishing number one, right? And that can be a little daunting when you find yourself even in the same space. It's like, hey, I'm enjoying this process, and you can kind of see some students who might be maybe doing a little too much, stressing themselves out a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Some who might have just dropped the ball somewhere, and that could have just ruined everything, right? Just if you
Hmm.
drop that ball, maybe in junior year, you just had one class,
Right.
something happened, right? And being able to stay on top of all of your extracurricular activities, which we'll get into here shortly, and also still have fun and be, a high schooler. So we applaud you for being able to do that and handle those things.
Oh, well, thank you.
Of course, of course. And speaking on extracurriculars, what were some of the organizations that you were a part of during your time at Braswell?
Okay. I was involved in the sports medicine program for all 4 years. I was in choir for all 4 years as well, but I was only in the varsity choir for junior year and senior year. I was in National Honor Society and French National Honor Society.
Okay,
I was also in French club for the first 2 years, but I ended up getting too busy with my other activities, so I had to drop it, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. That's a tough decision, right? When you have to,
Yeah.
and you probably loved it, or what went into like, okay, I have to let this one go, and I have to keep up with this that I have going on now.
I feel like the other activities I was in, they were more demanding than French club was. Like we would only meet, I think we only met once every quarter, but there was like a lot of outside of school activities that I couldn't meet because I already had obligations to my other activities.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense. And sometimes we gotta cut that one end loose. If it's possibly
Yeah,
bringing it down a little bit, right? So
right.
to kind of hit on a question that I asked a little bit earlier about putting your schedule together, did you see the benefits of taking AP courses, pre-AP courses, honors courses earlier in your high school career, or was that something that maybe came later, or how was your process with that?
Okay. I was always in AP and honors classes, so I don't know if they were much harder than regular classes because that's just what I was used to.
Hmm.
So, as far as scheduling goes, um, I feel like what helped me the most was doing my homework the day it was assigned because you never know what would come like throughout the rest of the week. And on top of that, I would have to juggle like my extracurricular activities. So it was best to get things done as soon as they were handed to me, so that way I could automatically check it off the list.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And you were definitely not procrastinating at all.
No, I was not.
All right, good. That's great. So who or what has been your greatest resource during your high school career? Because juggling, all of your extracurriculars, just being a high school student, and hey, at the end of the day, we're trying to get to college, right? So being able to juggle all of those things, who or what has been one of your greatest resources?
Well, my parents, they've been very supportive as far as, well, really my entire life. So I do appreciate them. But I have to give all the honor and glory to God because without him, I wouldn't be able to do any of the things
Mm,
or accomplish
say
any of the
that.
things that I was able to accomplish. So all
Amen.
thanks goes to him.
Okay, amen. I love that. I love that response. Because as you move on and you get off into college and you have the opportunity to be, start to grow into more of yourself,
Hmm.
more of a young woman, an independent young woman, and you're out there in the world. That really, there's gonna be some times where you're gonna have to call on his name, right? And just really be like,
Yes.
hey, I don't know what I need to do here, but it's getting rough out here. So
Yeah.
always keep that at the forefront, and you will continue to do very well. And I'm very happy that you brought that up. How would you, well, how would you, how do you feel that you'll find similar resources that have been influential to you in high school or up through high school? How do you think you'll find that in college in San Antonio?
Well, I don't have any family members in San Antonio, so as far as family goes, I'll just have to, make sure I'm calling my parents and the rest of my family often, as well,
Mhm.
as much as I can. And as far as a support system in college, I've been told that your advisors are a lot of help. So
Mhm.
I plan to make sure I have a good relationship with them. And I also, plan to, just be not social, but very cordial with my classmates, because you never know um, when you may be absent, you could get sick and you need notes for, the lecture that you missed. So I feel like it's always good to treat people right, because you never know what'll happen in the future.
That's so true. That's so true. Just treat
Yeah.
people right, and everything ends up working out in your favor in the long run. What you said was very neat about really leaning into your advisor, your academic advisor, and they will
Uh-huh.
be a monumental piece in your journey, but won't be the only, right? So you also spoke on
Right.
classmates and being social. I'm not sure if you're a very social person. I know from just your essay and letters of
No.
recommendation, people they really value your maturity. They really value your high standards, and so you're going to get to college and you're going to be able to be around other young women and who are the same, right? Who are one and the same as far as
Hmm.
being on top of their game, but who also are willing to say, hey, Ahlbany, let's go hang. We can go to the park. We can go walk. We can go
Hmm.
hang out. We can go do whatever. Organizations all over the campus, so make sure
Yeah.
that it's you get comfortable with kind of stepping out of that space, that bubble there, and it'll really pay off and pay just dividends on your college experience with getting out there and truly meeting people from different backgrounds and organizations that you just never would have known that you would have enjoyed, right? So take a freshman year and really like see, don't overwhelm yourself, but really see like what's out there and what you feel drawn to. And
Mhm.
that's a great way to start picking up some friends and people who might be in your classes, and kind of finding those social groups that help keep you motivated throughout your college experience.
Thank you. I will definitely try to remember that, because I do struggle with putting myself out there, because I'm not, I'm kind of an introvert. So, putting myself out there is kind of a challenge, but I will definitely try that out.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's no problem. I mean, you're not the first introvert to step on a college campus, so that's a great thing, right? This will just allow you to, as you start to continue to find yourself, I should say. Like, I would have never guessed I would have been a part of this organization
Right.
or this group, and next thing you know, you're the president of a campus organization, and you're speaking in front of, maybe 50, 100 people. Like, you never know. Like, you never
Yeah.
know. So that'll be really good, and you just keep pushing your boundaries, pushing your limits, and just moving forward. So real quick, how did you feel about? I think you kind of hit on it a little bit earlier. Is how did you feel about how you ended your high school career?
I was very satisfied, because freshman year, I think it was like towards the end, kind of going into sophomore year, I didn't know what my GPA was, because I don't think they had released those to us yet. But I was like, okay, because by then I had kind of saw what I was up against as far as competition.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, a 5.0, that might be a little too high, but I'll aim for like a 4.8.
Mm-hmm.
And by, I think it was my junior year, I finally ended up with a 4.8. So I was very happy.
Nice. That's great. And what's amazing about that is you were focused on it. You did make it a goal. And I think so many students honestly just don't make the goal, because if you really write it down and if it's a goal of yours, it's hard not to pay attention to it, right? It's
Right.
hard not to like to go to class and you know that you want all A's.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna go and start missing homework assignments and things of that nature. What you will do if it's your goal, you tend to stay on top of those things more, right? So that's
Right.
that you just set that high bar and you went for it and you landed it right at the end of the day. So that's great. And that can roll over to your college experience as well. And so when you get there, and it may seem like a lot of people or just a totally different environment, continue to make those goals, continue to set those high standards, and stay focused, right? And it'll all come together towards the end. So,
Yes.
oh yeah. In your college or high school experience, did you ever feel pressure or stress in I would say no, pressure to succeed academically?
Pressure. Um, I kind of did feel pressure because I know college is expensive.
Hmm.
I knew that going in. I was like, okay, I need to make sure that I have my grades together so that way I can get scholarships, possibly get a full ride. Like I had to keep that in mind, but I didn't let it stress me out to the point to where, I was, panicking. Like I just had to keep working for it. And by the end, I ended up, reaching my goal.
Hmm. That's perfect. And at the end of the day, you can only do so much, right?
Right.
And I think there might be times when students just really overstress, that
Mhm.
academic success in order to, please others or, oh, I have to get this scholarship, I have to get this. And to be honest, it's like, even if you didn't get a certain, GPA or you didn't get the full ride to the school, there's still other avenues that you can go to help, offset those costs. So if there's things that you may still owe for, attending UTSA, like there's other avenues to find
Right.
and resources to help you offset those costs and also be know that that's what we're here for. So
Yeah.
as you get ready to go out and join the college world, understand that we will continue to be a resource for you throughout your college journey. So whether you need help with writing personal statements, whether you need help with putting together a cover letter that you want to send over, resume that you want to send over for an internship or an externship during your college experience. Don't feel like you have to try to learn all of these things on your own. Okay, like these are things that we'll be willing to help, more than willing to help you with.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Thank you.
Of course. I have another question here, and it is, you know, how has your experience been in, I guess you can say, finding academic success while also dealing with the challenges of being one of the few Black students to finish at the top of your class?
Well, can you repeat the question again,
Yeah,
please?
no problem. How has your experience been throughout your academic success and finding your academic success while also dealing with, the challenges of being one of the few Black students to finish at the top of your class?
Well, I didn't look at being one of the few. African Americans at the top of my class as like a challenge, because I kind of looked at it as, if one of us wins, we all win, or one of us succeeds, we all succeed. So I was kind of viewing it as like, I'm representing everyone. I'm not just representing myself.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I took it as a win for the entire community.
Okay, that is awesome. And that's, the way you're stating that is very very mature answer for one. And as you move forward and, if you're in spaces where, there might not be many uh faces that look just like yours, to continue to keep that mindset and just say, you know what, like I know this is what God has for me, this is what my passion is, and this is what the road I'm supposed to be going down. If you look across that table and you don't see many faces that look like you, understand that okay, it's like it might be on me to bring some folks up if that's the journey for me. And
Right.
who knows, it may be a space where it's full of faces that just look just like yours, and that'll be a beautiful thing as well. So again, that's a great answer, a great response to how to kind of handle those situations for students who may be listening now, who might have that question of like, I'm constantly the only person in my classes or the only Black student in these classes, and that is a
Mm-hmm.
great approach.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Hmm. So you mentioned some of the organizations that you were a part of earlier. Could you touch on why you chose those organizations in particular?
Yes, well, initially, as far as sports medicine, I was going to Ryan High School. That's where I was supposed to go, but we ended up moving. And while I was at Ryan High School, my friends were all like, "Hey, I'm joining the sports medicine program. You should join too." So I was like, "Oh, okay."
Hmm.
So when I went to Braswell, it was already on my schedule. So that's how I landed there. Choir, I've always been in choir, even in elementary school. So I already knew that I liked singing somewhat.
Hmm.
Um, let's see the ones. French National Honor Society and Normal National Honor Society. Um, I kind of, I didn't, well, let's see. I did choose to be in there because you don't have to accept the letter that they give you.
Hmm.
But I did want to be in it because I figured it would look good on like a college application or anything like that. And yeah, that's pretty much all.
Okay, and that's no problem at all. Sometimes you gotta take that one for the team. Know that there's a greater things that lie ahead, and sometimes it's hey, this may be a process that I just have to pick some things up, learn a little bit, and use it to my advantage. That's what you did there, so very understanding of that. You mentioned in your essay that you know I, I believe I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to, and I have the ability
Mm-hmm.
to inspire others during times of difficulty. um, when I saw that, I was like, okay, here are some clear signs of a dedicated leader. What do you think has inspired you to truly step into that role whenever the opportunity presents itself?
Well, I feel like I'm a very positive person because of my faith. So I don't always take things as what they appear as they appear, because I know that everything does happen for a reason. And others, not everyone is as positive as I am.
Hmm.
So I take my trait and I use it to uplift others whenever they feel down or they feel discouraged.
I think people can learn a lot from that right there. It's just, it's at times it's very hard to be positive and remain positive. But if you got that deep down in you, you know that you can bring some positivity to the room or to the organization, to just step into that, right? Don't run from that. You don't have to be ashamed of being a leader, right? And understanding that, hey, this probably won't move unless I move it, right? That's a tough place to be in sometimes, but understand when that's on your heart, you just got to step into it and keep it rolling.
Yes.
Yeah. So, question about your college decision. Could you tell us a little bit about what went into the decision to attend the University of Texas at San Antonio?
Well, I had an older cousin who actually graduated from UTSA. So I did kind of see the campus when I went to her graduation. I was like, oh, this is nice. But I think I was in 8th grade at the time, so I didn't pay like too much attention to it.
Hmm.
But later on, my mom's coworker had mentioned the sports medicine program there. So I did a little more research. I was like, oh, I remember this school. And yeah, I just kind of fell in love with the campus then.
Okay, nice, nice. Have you had a few opportunities to get up there in the past couple of years, or it's all starting back fresh
Um,
again?
it's starting back fresh again because unfortunately I was supposed to go tour the campus during spring break, but
Um,
the whole pandemic kind of messed that plan up. But it's okay.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I'm sure it'll still be just as beautiful as you've imagined it up until this point. So, what have you decided on the major that you are going to partake in when you get to campus, or are you still pretty open?
I'm still pretty open because I'm not quite sure if I definitely want to be a high school math teacher
Hmm.
or if I want to double major or if I want to take the athletic training route.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just waiting to see how things go.
Okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Definitely weigh all of your options. And again, you're not alone in trying to make that decision or figure everything out by yourself. So if there's ever a time where you want to reach out and say, hey, here's what I'm looking at, we both have heard, and the supporters who will hear this, what your end goal is, and which is amazing. You have an end goal. Now it's just okay. How do we want to get there? So many different avenues, and that's the beauty of attending a university is, hey, which route do I want to take? Like, which just
Yeah.
fits me best, and which allows me to truly blossom. And you have the opportunity to continue to research and also ask us any questions that you may have about attending college, about getting dropped off that first day, what that'll look like, and kind of just the process of maybe even staying organized. So excuse me, if you ever have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to reach out. Again, we'll love to see just kind of how your journey turns out throughout this process. And if there's anybody who's watching this, where would you like to send them to maybe be able to keep up with your journey, or to if they wanted to reach out and maybe ask you any questions about maybe your high school process, or kind of things that maybe went on behind closed doors in deciding on schedules, or your journey to
Mhm.
being an athletic trainer, like what all of those things, where is there anywhere that they can reach out to you?
Well, I do have social media, but I don't post a lot of my life on there because I'm kind of a private person. But if anyone has questions, they can feel free to email me.
Okay.
My email is albany@gmail.com. So it's just my first name and then at gmail.com.
Okay, good deal. And I'll leave that, down in like the comments and description area that will give people an opportunity to reach out to you. And Albany, it's been a pleasure to meet you. It's a different story to be able to read about you, but to really have you on screen today, and to be able to present the 2020 SNF Scholarship Award to you. I'm very proud, and I'm humbled, and I'm honored to be able to, and blessed. Let me make sure I put that out there. Like, to be able to be in this position to see our Denton students really thrive, and you deserve the best. So thank you for being here today.
No, thank you guys, because I know there were a lot of candidates you all could have chose, but y'all decided to choose me as one of them, and I'm very grateful. I really do appreciate it.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Last couple questions. Last couple minutes here is, let's speak a little bit about if you have any comments on the school district. How do you feel about just Denton ISD? How there's been an amazing amount of support, or maybe lack thereof, or how do you feel Denton ISD has stepped up to the plate in your journey in reaching towards your educational goals?
Love is a part of the ISD. So again, it's one of those things where I don't have anything to compare it to.
Mm-hmm.
But I've enjoyed all 12 years of education. I've always had good teachers, and I've always been blessed to attend good schools. So I don't really have anything negative to say. I think Denton ISD is a great school for all people.
Okay, good deal, good deal. And I'm glad that you've had a great experience with this Denton ISD, with Braswell, in all of the schools that you have attended, from middle school to elementary school. And y'all heard it here, folks, like that she has truly enjoyed her teachers and administration. So keep up the good work, Denton ISD. We appreciate you. Our students appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing more champions and scholars like Ahlbany to come out of Denton, and we can't wait to see how you thrive and are able to give back again when your time's here. So we look forward to seeing you go be great, and just thank you so much for joining. We won't take up any more of your time, but we do appreciate you coming on this evening.
No problem. Thank y'all so much. I really do appreciate it.
Of course, of course.